All right, and welcome to another episode of Perspective and Pokemon. Most likely going to change that name though to Perspective and Collecting. Stay tuned. But I'm here with Manny Simone, who I am very happy to have on the show. If you guys do not know him, well, just go on TikTok and you'll probably see one of his videos. That is
Yes,
actually
you'll
how I came
find me.
across him. Yeah, oh yeah, it was on TikTok. I don't even remember what video it was, but I was like, well, like anyone who can make me laugh, like I enjoy laughing, and so anyone who makes me laugh, I'm like, okay, I want to know that person.
Oh, that's awesome. I didn't know that.
Yeah. And so, Manny, for those of you who do not know who you are, can you give, a brief, 60-second who you are and what is it that you're doing?
Yeah, I'm just a Pokemon content creator. Mostly on TikTok. I have 100K followers on there. Been on there for a little over a year now. Just pumping out content. Um, I'm a little bit on Instagram, little less on YouTube, but just mostly a Pokemon content creator on TikTok.
Nice. And I'm curious. So, what was it that made you want to start creating content on TikTok?
Well, first it started off with before the Pokemon, it was just art. I'm an artist. I sell at conventions, comic conventions, anime conventions, Power Ranger conventions, whatever, like fan art stuff. So I was an artist, and first I was on YouTube and Instagram doing the whole art thing, the whole art grind, trying to get my art out there. And then TikTok came along, and eventually got on that. And then the art switched over to cards because there was a boom with sports cards popping off, and Gary V, who's a he's an influencer. I don't know if you know who that is. He's a
Mm.
he's a business dude influencer, but he was high on sports cards. So I didn't know anything about sports cards, but he made it seem like it's really easy to make money off of it. So I was like looking for quick cash. So then I got into sports cards, and then I started discovering, oh, Pokemon's a thing too. And I grew up loving Pokemon. I have my old collection, and I would still buy cards here and there. So once I found out Pokemon was growing too, then I got into that. And first, it started off as a content creator. I'm just looking for like get a grow a following. Maybe I can sell art from it, kind of like a money thing. But then I started discovering the Pokemon community. So I was always a Pokemon fan, and I collected cards, I bought cards, but I didn't know there was a community until I got on TikTok. And then once I got in the community and started learning the people, and it started switching over from being more about community and not flipping cards.
Uh,
I'm not really into that anymore. Now I'm just people, bonding, and that's all I care about.
that's awesome. That's so funny because the last episode I had Pokenav on the show, and he mentioned how he also got back into Pokemon because of sports cards. And I also got back into Pokemon because of sports cards, where I was kind of doing the
Wow.
same
Okay.
thing, where I heard actually from Gary V, like,
Yeah.
sports cards are a thing. I'm like, okay, I'll look into these, did a couple little sales and whatnot, got a couple cards, but I hadn't really been following the NBA for a while. That was my biggest sport. So I didn't really know like what to do and whatnot. And then it was just a one day I'm like, oh wait, what about Pokemon cards? Like I wonder what those are selling for. And then finding a card that I had like as a kid, like, oh my gosh, this card's like $50. And then that got me back into that got me back into Pokemon, and I started flipping some cards. And this was 2019, before the big boom and whatnot. And then that, similar to you, I got back into that, brought me back into the community, which got me into collecting, got me into the hobby back to the hobby and whatnot. And yeah, it's just funny. Sports cards apparently got more people back into the hobby than I realized.
Yeah, yeah. I was consuming so many podcasts about cards because I was trying to learn. Uh, uh, bring myself knowledge so I can make money, but they would have different people to interview, and some of them would be Pokemon. And I started learning about like the old school stuff, like the sets that have never even been released in America, like go before the base set, like they had the card ass and top sun
Mhm.
cards. So I was learning about like the real vintage stuff. So I was getting into that and just learning more and more. And like the sports cards, it was not a passion thing. Like I'm out of it
Mhm.
now because I've learned within this year of like if you're trying to make cash quick, it for me it backfired. It'll blow up in your face trying to. I just didn't know enough. And Pokemon, I know so much more, and I'm passionate about it. And I like the characters, the artwork, the shows. I like there's more love for it, so I understand it a lot more, and it's easier for me. But like the sports cards, I tried selling a bunch, but a lot of stuff I can't sell 'cause I can't make my money back. I lost a lot of money. But lesson learned.
For sure. And yeah, and on that note, I think also a lot of people came into Pokemon with that same mindset, during 2020, 2021, of like, oh, I'm going to make a bunch of money really quickly because this Charizard is now selling for whatever it was. And so I think a lot of people got into got into Pokemon because of that. But the
Hmm.
thing with collectibles is that's like what happened during 2020 and 2021. Like that's not the norm. That is
And I jumped in at that time, so I was like, "What is happening?" I didn't understand. I didn't understand the norm, so it was a weird time to get in. And you're dealing with that feeling always of, man, I'm too late to the game. Like everything's so expensive now. I'm glad it's dying down now, but yeah. I regret though, because during that boom, you don't know. No one knows exactly when it's gonna slow down or shut down. So you're holding on to stuff. Things are going up. Like, oh, I don't want to get rid of it right now. It's gonna keep going up. But looking back, man, I wish I would have got rid of so many different things and capitalized. But now I'm just stuck with some of these Pokemon cards that
uh,
I really didn't care for. Like especially like those like the Evolution Charizards. Oh my god, did those crash? I wish I would have sold those. Any Charizard during that hype. Oh my
uh,
god, would have made some money. Any vintage, like all the like base set vintage that it's printed so much, so it's not really worth anything. But during that time, they were selling for a lot more, and I just held on to it because it's vintage. I don't sell any vintage, but yeah, should have got rid of some at least. But
yeah,
hindsight's 2020.
for sure. Like I mean, there was so I was buying in 2019 first edition PSA 9 uh Dark Charizards, the non-hollow versions for $30. And then at like the peak in 2020, or maybe it was early 2021. But at the peak, they were selling for $1,200. But I had sold mine
Jesus.
earlier, like for like $200, which was still 30 to 200. That's not bad, but it was
Right.
at that time because COVID, our business was not doing well. I had to sell cards. Um, but yeah, I just remember thinking, like, I told my wife, like, I was showing my wife the prices, like, every few months. I was like, oh, this is now up to $600 or $600. Oh, now it's up to $800. She's like, stop showing me those.
It hurts.
Yeah,
It's hard to know the right time. Like you're either selling it too early, too late. I mean, at least you made money. You made a profit, so that's good. But it's hard to hit the right spot. Most people don't. Some people do and they get lucky, but that's not the norm.
hmm
You know.
yeah. I think what's important, whether it's collectibles or creating content, it's having that long term vision, that long term perspective. Because yeah, you might miss out on that that hype moment, the
Yeah,
2020 of Pokemon, but that doesn't mean that you're whether it's again an investment or whatever. That doesn't mean that you're not going to have another opportunity, in 2 years, in 5 years, in 15 years.
that's where I'm at now with Pokemon. Like I'm looking at vintage. Like I'm looking at the first edition Shadowless Charizard. Obviously not PSA 10. Can't get. I'll never afford that. But like the raw ones are selling for like around $2,000 first edition Shadowless, which is better than what the 300K the PSA 10 was selling for, something like
Uh,
that. So I'm looking to buy one of those, saving up. Just it'd be cool to have that card, and that's a pretty safe bet. If you have that card, so I'm going that route. Just smart investment. It's not trying to make quick flips. Hold on to stuff for years, maybe like my whole life, and pretty confident it'll keep going up.
yeah, for sure. So real quick, going back to your TikTok stuff,
Hmm.
because I love how you said you're more focused now on community, on people. So I'm curious when you kind of start to make that shift in your mindset and your perspective. How did your
Oh,
content change when you did that?
how did my content change? It's interesting. I don't know if my content really changed. I was. It's more my mindset that changed because I was making like fun loving community content. Things like you said, make people laugh, and I would do pack openings, skits. I would get comments like questions in my comments, and you can reply to those comments with a video. So I was answering videos about pricing or sets or best cards to buy. So I was always making content revolving around the community, but I can think of like a specific moment where my mindset changed to be more about communities. Like I was selling stuff on Facebook Marketplace or OfferUp products and kind of scalping because before I was like just trying to make money.
Hmm.
And then I would meet people in public and they would be fans, just Pokemon fans, like passionate. And one person recognized me from TikTok. He's like, "Oh, I follow you." And when he said that, I was like, "Oh my god!" I felt so bad that I was charging more than retail to someone who seemed like a good guy. He was a follower. He's opening cards for the love of it. So after that, that's when I stopped flipping stuff and became like really part of the community.
Uh-huh. That's it's so funny. Different themes that come up because I was flipping cards, a couple years ago and whatnot. I have a lot of friends who are resellers, on Amazon, on eBay, and a lot of them got into scalping Pokemon cards and new product and whatnot. And I remember having a buddy who got into he was doing that, then got was starting to actually like opening up cards with his kid and whatnot. And then maybe 4 or 5 months later, he messages me. He's like, "Dude, I can't scalp these anymore. I feel too bad."
Yeah, that's what I went. It was only like maybe a month long thing that I was doing, like selling product like that. So it wasn't long, but um, yeah, when you're not attached to the people and you have a business and you're not connected to them, it's a lot easier to like the sports cards, for instance. I'm not in the sports card community, so I don't really care if if I'm selling sports cards for more than it's worth because I'm not attached to those people. And
Mhm.
plus, a lot of those guys, I really don't see it as the same as the Pokemon community. I don't, a lot of it's money oriented, more so in the sports cards. So with
Mhm.
Pokemon, I'm in it. I know the people. I know the content creators. I get the commenters, the fans. So yeah, it's a bad feeling for me if you're trying to flip stuff. Not to say I don't still sell stuff on eBay. Like I have loose cards that I sell, and if I can make like an extra couple bucks off of it, that's great. And whatever the bid goes to. But when it comes to buying product from a store and flipping it to people, no, I don't do that.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean that's the same thing I do. Like I have my own little collectibles business on the side. I'll sell, raw cards, PSA cards, whatever they're going for at the moment. But for me, I don't feel right. I have actually one here. I don't feel right grabbing the Celebrations ETB off the shelf and then trying to flip it for, $70 or whatever. Like I would prefer, if anything, holding on to that for 5 years and then selling it for
Hmm.
whatever it's worth in 5 years, whether that's 70
What the
bucks
market says,
or
yeah,
200 or whatever.
yeah, yeah. And I wasn't trying to be. I just wasn't thinking about the people. It's like all you're thinking about is money, money. I can
Mhm.
use this money to pay bills. It wasn't like you weren't trying to have ill intent about it. But once you learn about the people, it's like, oh, okay, yeah, this is kind of negative.
Yeah, for sure. So you mentioned earlier you have, over 100,000 followers on TikTok.
Hmm.
So how do you think you got there? Because 100,000, that's a decent amount.
Yeah, I never had 100K followers on any other platform. Let me tell you, TikTok's weird, man. I definitely don't want to paint a picture of like 100K, like it's. Let me just tell you an example. So just because you have 100K followers doesn't mean every video you post, 100K followers see all your content.
Mhm.
You can still post stuff and they just fall flat. No one sees it, no interaction, which I experience all the time. Every now and then I'll have a video do well, maybe get like 100K views, and that's doing exceptionally well for me. But how I got there is TikTok's changed. The Pokemon community has changed on TikTok because when people post the same stuff over and over, I think the fans get used to it and they want
Mhm.
something new, go on to the next thing. So I've learned you can't keep doing the same thing. So the stuff that helped me grow, like it doesn't work anymore. And I
Mhm.
see that with other content creators too. It's not just me. But how I grew was just posting a lot. So on Macari, it's an app that you can buy stuff off of. I bought a lot of $100 store Pokemon packs. That allowed me to have all these packs for kind of cheap and make pump out content really quick. I was posting like 7 videos a day. Like TikTok's really easy. Record, post, record, post, record, post. It's not like YouTube where you have to do this whole editing thing, intro, outro, add text and all that. YouTube is hard, a lot of work. TikTok, post, shoot, post, shoot. So because I was posting so much, I started building like kind of momentum. It wasn't working at first, but I think because I was recording and shooting so much, I was getting more comfortable in front of the camera, getting more loose. A little bit was getting mundane, like kind of getting bored with like saying the same thing, pack open, pack open. So I started getting a little kind of loopy about it, a little more crazy, a little more energetic, a little a little funnier how I said things, enunciate things, more sporadic. Maybe I would get more angry if I didn't get a good pull. I was just getting silly about it, and that was working. So I started building a following off of that, and videos would pop off, gain a bunch of followers. Then you can go live. Going live helped a lot. You'd get a bunch of new followers from that. And then card openings turn into skits and answering questions and doing all sorts of things. Like I did everything you could think of when it comes to like video content. Like I pretty much covered anything but I applied Pokemon to it. And there's ebbs and flows with social media. Things will go well, things will go down. It humbles you. You think you're high, you're overwhelmed with keeping up with the comments, replying to people, all the new followers. It's like too much. And then next week, flatline, nothing. And then you come back down to earth. Like, okay. It sucks, but it's a good thing because you realize, your shit don't stink, it can all go away like that. So ebbs and flows with TikTok.
That's awesome. Like honestly, you said a few different points that I loved. So now, you say you started about over a year ago. So now with how TikTok is at the moment, how have you been adjusting your content or adjusting how maybe your perspective or whatever for I guess how you produce things now?
So I've been trying different things. I started this new series where I'll take a character from pop culture, whether it's Darth Vader, Spider-Man, Mario, Shrek, Buzz Lightyear, whatever, and I will give them a Pokemon team. So there's this app called Tier List where you can just add kind of like pictures of Pokemon or whatever to that tier list, and I did that with a character. So if Buzz Lightyear had a team, what would his starting 6 Pokemon look like? What would his team look like? So I started that series. Those were doing well. Just something new because I saw people doing tier lists, and that gave me the idea. So you want to try to come up with creative ideas, do stuff that people aren't doing. Openings, everyone's doing. Most of them aren't good. Most of them are pretty boring. Even with openings, I started a new series where I'm trying something different. I do minute speed rounds. So it's like a speed run, kind of like what you'd see in like a video game where they try to do like the whole game and as quickly as possible. I do that Pokemon. So minute timer on the screen. How many packs can I open up in 1 minute? And boom, 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 boom. There's energy to it. There's excitement to it. There's a countdown timer. So that's something new I was doing with Pokemon openings. So those are the 2 things I focus on as of right now.
That's awesome. Yeah, I love that you bring that up because and talk about what you've been doing because when it comes to making content or business or whatever it might be, think you always have to be ready to adjust. I love how you mentioned how any day of the week, you could all of a sudden your content is not hitting, and then it humbles you. You have to be ready for those moments of being able to adjust, being able to just I guess take those droughts, so to speak, and learn from
Yeah.
it. And
Yep.
and also understand that you could be on top of the world one moment and then not be I guess as popular the next, and that's fine. You just keep rolling, you keep adjusting.
That's what the experts talk about, man, with the social media. Like that's what we're so worried about with the younger generation. I mean, I'm 30 and it affects me big time, but like getting down so much, you're used to the highs of the likes and comments, and then how do you deal with the lows? I've learned to deal with it better for sure because now I expect it, and I just know to keep on pushing. And it's good if you're making content that you're more into, because if you're producing content that you don't even like and it's not doing well, that really sucks. Because you're like, you don't even like what you're doing and it's not even working. It's like, so try to do something you're into. At least if it works, that's good. If it doesn't, at least you were having fun.
100%. So going into your art, because I have seen some of your artwork, and man, it's really good. Like one of these days, when I have a little more money, I'll buy one because I actually really enjoy your artwork. So
Thank you.
when did you start getting into art?
That's something you start as a kid, just doodling in class. I was never good, but I was consistent. Just something to do in class, you know. Whenever there was a like I was always good in art classes because you don't have to be good at art for classes. You just follow the rules.
Mhm.
Pretty simple. I always enjoyed those, and anytime like science class had involved kind of art project or building or making something, I was always into those. So there was a passion for it. It wasn't until a couple of years ago I started taking it seriously because growing up, I didn't know you could make money off of it. I had no dreams or goals or aspirations. If I did, that would have been amazing. I would have been a lot better at art than I am now, just because I would have been taking it more seriously. But I would say like 5 years ago, uh, kind of set my mind to getting good at it. So I took some classes at like my local community college, just some beginning courses. Um, then I took some courses online. There's a site called schoolism.com, big site. If you're an artist, anyone watching this, I highly recommend it. Top tier artists teaching courses, freaking amazing. I leveled up so much from that, just learning the fundamentals. Amazing. So I started getting better at art, started making prints or artwork, and then making prints out of it. And then I started selling at local kind of art craft shows. And then I moved up to the conventions and just posting stuff on Instagram, doing stuff on YouTube. Now more so on TikTok. Just uh, people see it sometimes and then get commissions from that or sell prints at conventions.
Awesome. And did you see like your sales like or commissions go up as you started making content?
Uh, for TikTok, definitely. Instagram, a little bit. Man, oh god, I work so hard on Instagram, especially when you're learning about marketing and business, which I knew nothing about, but I was going hard on the YouTube content, learning about all these things, and you learn how to make ads and learn how the algorithm works, Instagram ads, Facebook ads, how to make videos, how to make good looking photos, how to add text to it, make it all pretty, and you spend hours or days or weeks learning about the stuff, and then you make the stuff, and then no one sees it. Uh, I've gone through all that. TikTok has been my most successful run at this, especially with Discord. So getting in the Pokemon community, you meet people, you go on Discords, you're able to share your art, and then people see it. And I've had more luck with the tight knit people, um, rather than just posting something and then it going in the ether. Being in a community has helped way more.
Yeah, 100%. Um, as a side note, so I do marketing for work. So yeah, I totally understand. Working on something for a week, running ads, and like it didn't work. But that's kind of going back to what we were talking about earlier. Sometimes things hit, sometimes things don't, and you just learn from them and you just keep going.
Yeah, it sucks, especially with someone who knows nothing about it. So I had to start from ground zero, learning about all this stuff. And when it doesn't work, it's like, man, what was the point of all this? But I guess in retrospect, I mean, it's all added up. I am here now.
Yeah, for sure. So question. Yeah, for those who want to get into content creation, whether it's on TikTok, somewhere else, just they have that desire to make content. Do you have any advice, like one or two things you'd I guess tell them as counsel before they get started?
Well, first I would definitely say TikTok. That's your most hopeful, uh, most potential there to grow. YouTube is challenging. because I can spend all day editing a video and then you post it and you get nothing. Whereas TikTok, it's a lot easier. You can post several videos in one day, and maybe one of those will work. And if none of them do that day, well, at least you didn't spend all day on one video. You can just pump out more. So Gary Vee's talked about this, quantity over quality. So for starters, I would definitely think about output. Boom, 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 boom. Especially if you're not comfortable in front of the camera, you need practice. Make videos. It's not something that immediately happens, but over time, 100 videos in, 200 videos in, you're going to get more comfortable. TikTok, find a niche. So say Pokemon, see what successful people are doing, how they do it, what's different about them, and apply that to your video making. Try working on that. And eventually you're going to start adding your own flair to that kind of stuff. So that's what I would recommend. Look at trends, see if there's any trending music, and hopefully eventually you can grow out of that. Instead of following trends, you start making your own kind of trends and doing your own thing. But for starters, to learn, see what other people are doing. Don't reinvent the wheel at first. Practice, practice, practice.
Love that. And as a side note, if you are going to start creating on TikTok, start like today, because one thing that's definitely interesting between today and 12 months ago, 16 months ago, is that while TikTok organic reach is still super, super good, so much better than YouTube, so much better than Instagram, it is not as good as it was 12 months ago, because you do have a lot more people creating. And so you still can, create a video, get 100,000 views, get 50 or 5,000 views, 20,000, whatever. But it's every single day there are more people starting to get on TikTok. And so if you do want to do that, start today, because you don't want to wait a year before you start.
Yeah. Start now. No reason to wait. What was I gonna say? Yeah, keep it simple. Keep it simple. The content. Maybe it's a pack opening. Maybe it's you. You know what really helps, guys, is sharing your opinion, because that causes feedback. Whether it's people are gonna leave good or bad comments, sharing your opinion on maybe a show, a card, a set, the community, whatever it may be. Share your opinion, and that way, if people see it, it will cause interaction, which is what's great for the algorithm. People liking, people commenting, people sharing. You want to cause interaction with your video. So sharing opinions is good, but try many different things. See what you like, and just keep growing from it. You're gonna get better and better. It's gonna be uncomfortable. Believe me, I would not be able to talk on a webcam a year ago like this. I would have been a lot more shut down and shy. But after making like 1,000 videos on TikTok, it's a lot easier for me. So keep at it.
100%, which is so funny because I was looking at so I looked at my very first video I'd ever put out on YouTube yesterday. Because of another video I'm going to do. I was looking at my first video, and I was watching. I was like, wow, like I was super uncomfortable in front of a camera. Like
Yeah.
like I look so awkward, but it's awesome because I'm like, oh, it's so cool I didn't realize how much more comfortable I am now versus, I think that was in 2019 when I did that first video. But yeah, just put in the reps and you will get more comfortable with your craft.
Believe me, I know about it. It's 2021 now. I think 2016 is when I started with art content on Instagram and trying to make videos. So I've been at it for a long time, and I'm here. So whether you think this is good or bad, imagine where I was before, like completely shy and quiet. I remember doing like a comic. I was into comics at some point. I did like a comic review on YouTube, and it was so quiet, and I didn't know what to say, and it was a lot of dead air, and I was so nervous. And, oh my god! But I remember this stuff, and I look back at it, so I'm well aware of how far I've come, and I just know people in the Pokemon community, especially in the Pokemon community, a lot of people are shy and kind of have a lot of social anxiety. I definitely experienced social anxiety, but some people really experience it, and they sometimes they'll say, "Man, you're really great in front of a camera." I'm like, what? Really? You don't know where I started. Like, so just let you know, guys, you can get there. Just you have to try, make a lot of content, and you'll grow naturally over time.
100%. You know, I almost want to tell people, like everyone, to make content around something that they love, even if they don't, that's not what they want to do as a living, or if even if they don't, explode and become, the next Leonhardt or Manny or whoever. Because I think you learn a lot of lessons when you create content, whether it's becoming more comfortable talking with people, or learning to how to handle criticism or negative feedback or people's opinions when they have different opinions than you. I just think putting yourself out there, creating content, having people comment, all those things that you learn from creating content, I think just overall can help you just become better in whatever it is you want to do. Whether you want to become a doctor, whether you want to become a comedian or a businessman, whatever it might be, I think you learn a lot of lessons through creating content.
I completely agree. Yes, personal growth. I've mentioned that in the past too, especially with like these Pokemon team videos I'm making, and it involves me being in front of the camera and giving reasons why I picked this Pokemon. And I'll keep the camera on and just keep shooting. And there's a lot of pauses. There's a lot of me stumbling and getting stuck. So now the idea is let me get better at this because it's going to be less editing and post, less work because I don't like editing. Like I do it, but it takes time. So if I can get better at speaking in front of the camera, getting my ideas out and being more confident, oh my God, it'll be less time editing. So that's building self-growth. Then that goes into like me in the office, me with other people, me in public, me meeting new friends or strangers, whatever. I just get more comfortable in myself because I've been doing it so much. So I completely agree with the self-growth aspect.
Yeah, I think it was Tony Robbins. I remember just hearing something on like a podcast. So someone can fact check me if they want, but he was talking about how people were saying, "Man, you're such a good public speaker and whatnot," and he was saying, "No, I'm not a great public. Like I'm good now." But how he started is that he was doing, I think it was like four speeches or four meetings like a day when other people were doing like for a month. So he was
Hmm.
practicing public speaking like over and over and over again, and then he became the kind of speaker that he is now. And so yeah, when you put in that work, like it becomes more reflexive, and you just learn, you just grow.
And I'll tell you what a big problem is for me and probably a lot of people. You're too in your head about things. You're thinking about all your mistakes and messing up and stumbling, and you're too stuck in your head. You got to get out of your head, and you'll flow better. Now, easier said than done, but you got to have more confidence when speaking. And confidence can come from knowing that other people deal with the same problem. Other people are in their head too. Other people mess up. No one's perfect. Everyone has their own crap they deal with. Everyone gets nervous when like everyone has gone through this experience. When someone tells you their name and then someone says, "Oh, I'm so bad at names. What was your name again?" Like no one remembers names. Why don't people remember names? Because they're not in the moment. They're like when you're meeting someone, you're so nervous. You're trying to look
Mm,
good. You're not even listening to the person's freaking name. That's the first thing they say. So everyone has that problem. So the point is, it's okay to mess up. Don't you got to be less in your head about things. Stop being nervous. It's have confidence in that everyone else is messed up too. So
yeah,
don't be so nervous.
for
Yeah.
sure. And just know that once you actually start getting into it and do it over and over and over again, it becomes easier. Like I think
Hmm.
sometimes we just don't like we had that initial like, oh, I don't want to do this. It's uncomfortable. It's new, which makes sense with how the brain works and everything. But once you actually start doing it, and then you start getting, it just becomes easier because your ability to do it just grows.
And eventually, when you have that feeling for things, when you're really nervous and scared, you're gonna want to do them more because you're gonna want to grow. So if you have that
Mm,
feeling and you're serious about getting better at life, you're gonna push yourself to go there because you've been in this situation before. You've come out on top. It's not as bad as your brain's making it seem. that fear is not real, at least not to the extent that you think it is. It could go wrong. Things could mess up. You could look like an idiot, but it's not the worst thing in the world. Everyone has been through this. And once you've done it once, you do it twice, it just gets easier and easier. Then you start getting that feeling, okay, let me go towards the feeling because that's the only way you're going to get better at it. That's kind of where I'm at now.
Yeah, love that. Which, by the way, I just realized what your shirt is, and that is an awesome shirt.
The Pokemon community, James Arizona on TikTok, he sent me this for free. Good friend. But you just meet people, and there's a lot of nice guys, nice gals on TikTok. Not everyone's nice. Like with the community, it involves people, so people are all kinds of people on the spectrum: good, bad, indifferent, shady. I go towards the more positive side. I try to stay there.
Same here. All right, man. Well, we're going to wrap this up with some rapid fire questions, and then I'll let you go.
Let's go. I'm ready.
All right. What's your favorite Pokemon?
Charizard. It's not. People hate that because he's too popular, but Charizard right there. He's always been the GOAT since I was a kid. Ash's strongest Pokemon. The best card. I still carry that nostalgia, so he's my favorite.
I mean, there's a reason why Charizard's the most popular. People like him.
Yeah, but he is hated. And what? I know I'm ruining the rapid fire, but let me just say this: when people say they don't like Charizard and he's so overhyped, they seem like they think they're the only person that shares that opinion, which annoys me. Like, it's so common to not like Charizard now. I just want everyone to know that. People think they have an original concept idea. Oh, Charizard, I don't like him. He's disliked by a lot of people. Okay, so it's not cool to say that anymore. All right, the things I experience on TikTok. All right.
Welcome to Manny Therapy. Yeah. Okay. What was your first Pokemon game you ever played?
Oh, yellow version.
Yellow version, nice. Music wise, would you prefer listening to heavy metal or classical?
Heavy metal. I just last week I was at a 4-day heavy metal festival called Rockville in Daytona. Metallica, Disturbed, Mudvayne, Anthrax, Lamb of God, Slipknot. I'm a heavy metal guy.
Nice. Well, I didn't know that, so there you go. So who is a content creator you'd love to do a collab with?
Oh my God. Never thought of that. Collab with? I don't know. I guess Leonhardt, that would boost my following. Just strictly as a growth standpoint. There's no one really. You know who I kind of like? I like what's his name on YouTube? Twice Baked Jake or something like that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like his videos. I don't really. I'm mainly on TikTok. I consume content on there. But yeah, I guess Leonhardt.
Nice. Favorite Pokemon set you've opened up in the last year?
Last year, Hidden Fates, even though it didn't come out last year or this year, but that's when I was buying it. So Hidden Fates was cool. Yeah, I'll stick with that.
It's a good set. Good set. Do you prefer tacos or sandwiches?
I eat a lot of sandwiches, so I guess that because you can have a side of chips. I love chips. That's my favorite snack, by the way. It's so versatile. You have plain chips, barbecue chips, salt and vinegar, Fritos. I just love the side of chips. So sandwiches.
Do you prefer Christmas or Thanksgiving?
Christmas. I have a little sister. She's 11, so it's really about her. So being part of that, buying her gifts, seeing her light up. That's what Christmas is about.
What's your favorite sport?
Basketball, even though I don't play as much and it destroys my body, but I'm a Heat fan. I keep up with like highlights. I can't sit there and watch a whole game. I don't do that with my time anymore. Like I don't even watch the NFL anymore. I remember I was into fantasy football. I would have several leagues. I would watch the games, watch the fantasy shows, the pre-shows, the post-shows. God, it takes up so much time. I didn't even watch the last Super Bowl, which I'm proud of because that means I'm doing something else. better with my time. Maybe something more productive. But basketball, I'll keep up with. Like I follow them on Instagram, so I can see the highlights. And the Heat, I watch the highlights of every game on YouTube the next morning. So I can manage a 9-minute highlight reel, but I can't sit and watch a whole game.
Yeah, same here. I just don't have the time for it. Like when I was like 16, I would know like everyone's stats, know what was happening, everyone's standings. I don't got time for that no more.
Yeah, it's a waste of time. Like, why?
So last and final question. When everything is said and done, how do you hope to be remembered? Either as a person or in the hobby or both?
I definitely want to be successful. I want to be remembered in a positive light. I want to be remembered as when people say my name, I want people to say he was a good dude. So working on that. I want to be very successful. Like I'm an artist, so I want to end up making my own comic, my own characters. That's a dream of mine. Make my own graphic novel. I want to be known for creating. And that's how I want to be remembered, being a good guy and creating some awesome stuff.
Awesome. Love that, man. Well, Manny, let everyone know, where can they find you on the social medias?
Manny Simone cards everywhere. TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. That's where I'm at. And soon to
Awesome,
be
man.
Whatnot. I
And
will
soon
be
to be
on
Whatnot, as
Whatnot.
we know.
Yeah.
As we got a little exclusive on the interview.
I did an interview today for it. Yes. For the application process, they interview you. And I just want to say there's a lot of money grubbing people on Whatnot. A lot of people who sell Pokemon cards who are part of the community who really aren't. I feel to me they come from the sneaker salesmen, like the sneaker flippers, which was if you don't know what that is, people were flipping sneakers not too long ago, making big money off of that. And like you were saying at the beginning, they come from the sports cards. Now they're into the Pokemon cards, just trying to make money. A lot of fake people and whatnot. So I want to be someone who's from the community, who's about the community. Easy auctions, cheap auctions. You win some, you lose some. I win some, I lose some. I'm gonna sell art, sell hollows, V cards, V maxes, and just for cheap though. I'm planning on doing dollar auctions. That's it, and see how it goes.
Awesome, man. Well, Manny, thank you again so much for being on, and this was fun. We should do it again sometime.
I really appreciate it. It was an honor to be interviewed by you. Thank you for having me, and looking forward to the next one.